2, 2025 to order at 6:22. All council members are present here tonight. Sorry we're running a bit late. We had a long executive session, but we'll get going here right now. First item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item to consider is proclamations, and we have a proclamation for KWBU. Meet me down at the podium. I think a couple of council members are going to come with me here on this. All right, here we go. This is for KWBU, NPR, National Public Radio. Thank you for everything you do for public radio. And just growing up on some of my favorite shows, All Things Considered. I don't know if you've ever listened to that. The trumpet, I can't get the theme song out of my mind. I think about it all the time. And Prairie Home Companion with Garrison Keillor, Lake Wobegon. Does anybody know Lake Wobegon? We have some Lake Wobegon fans. Everybody knows Lake Wobegon is where women are strong, men are good looking, and the children are above average. That's one of my favorite lines. Anyway, just really, I appreciate everything that you guys do in the face of, evolving media technology and funding. And you've been a part of the fabric of this community for 25 years. I hope you continue for another 25. So thanks to Molly Jo, to Kara, and to Joe. And with that, I will read the proclamation. I, Jim Holmes, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, Texas, do hereby proclaim December 2nd, 2025 as KWBU 25th Anniversary Day in the city of Waco. And I urge all citizens to join with the city council, city staff, and me in supporting this essential local institution and recognizing KWBU's long-standing role as a vital voice for our community. For 25 years, KWBU has served as a national public radio source for Greater Waco and McLennan County, growing alongside the community it serves, reflecting its stories, its progress, and its people. KWBU has expanded its local coverage and community presence, spotlighting not only the growth and revitalization of downtown Waco, but also the diverse voices, experiences, and achievements across every part of McLennan County. Through its commitment to fact-based journalism, insightful storytelling, and diverse cultural programming, the station has helped shape an informed, engaged, and connected public. Through times of change, KWBU has remained rooted in its mission and deeply connected to the community it serves, not just broadcasting to Waco, but growing with Waco. Today, KWBU proudly stands as Waco's public radio station, locally focused, solely listener-supported, and greatly committed to serving the needs, interests, and spirit of Central Texas. And this proclamation is in witness hereof, witness my hand, the seal of the city of Waco, the 2nd day of December, and signed by myself and all the city council members. So, I'll get on the outside. Can I introduce you to George and Kara, right?
Yep.
All right, ready, 1, 2, 3. Oh, second. 1, 2, 3.
All right, thanks, Mom. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Joe and Kara, please, Joe and Kara, please say a word to Molly, if you want to.
Sure. this is a wonderful thing for us, Mayor and all council members, to be recognized. This caps our 25th anniversary year. We've been serving Waco for 25 years. We are so proud of this community and the support this community has given us. We are pleased to serve this community, and we do intend to serve it for 25 more years. Krista Brinzer, we were in a conversation earlier today with a group of us, and she was explaining what KWBU is, and she said that KWBU is for Waco for all things, and that's what we are. We are for Waco for all things. This is our home, our community, and we are so pleased and proud to serve it and to be supported by the people of Waco, by all of you. I will do one more thing and ask that if you are not a member, that you go to kwbu.org and do your part, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks for that. That was great. Thank you, Mr. Riley. We will now move to the consent agenda. The consent agenda includes Resolution 2025-867, 2025-868, and Resolution 2025-869 through 884, with the exception of 2025-883. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? City Secretary Hicks, will you please poll the council?
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderoud,
Yes.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is Resolution 2025-883. Is there a motion on this resolution?
Mayor, I've got a rather lengthy motion here to read on this matter, which is, I move that the city of Waco, by one record vote applying to all units of property to be condemned, authorize the acquisition, including the use of the power of eminent domain, if such becomes necessary, to acquire A, save for the existing building and within 30 feet of the building, portions of the remainder of 215 Washington Avenue, Waco, McLean County, Texas, for I, utility easements, double I, access easements, triple I, public access to parkland, and IV for right-of-way, and/or B, save for the existing building and within 30 feet of the building, portions of the remainder of 101 Washington Avenue, Waco, McLean County, Texas, for I, utility easements, double I, access easements, triple I, public access to parkland, and/or Roman numeral 4, right-of-way, said acquisitions all being for public right-of-way and access needed for parkland, utility easements, and other public improvements of the downtown redevelopment project Phase 1A, Barron's Branch District, generally located between Washington Avenue and Jefferson Avenue, 4th Street, and the Brazos River.
Thank you, Joshua. Your second on that motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? City Secretary Hicks, will you please poll the council?
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderoud,
Yes.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-885. Director Price.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. This is a public hearing in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Tax Code, Section 312.002, to consider a resolution readopting the City of Waco residential tax abatement guidelines and policy statement governing the abatement of city taxes on qualifying residential properties. Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code requires that a municipality must adopt guidelines for tax abatement before it can grant tax abatement agreements. Thereafter, a municipality may only enter into tax abatement agreements that meets its adopted guidelines. The municipality is also required to hold a public hearing at which members of the public are given the opportunity to be heard regarding an adoption, amendment, repeal, or reauthorization of tax abatement guidelines and criteria. The current guidelines expire on December 17th of 2025, and staff is proposing readopting the current policy in support of furthering development within the city core. Once City Council has reauthorized the guidelines, The guidelines will be effective through December 17th of 2027. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Waco Tribune Herald on November 1st of 2025, as well as posted on the city's website.
Thank you, Galen. Are there any questions for staff on this one? I will now open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who'd like to speak regarding this item? Seeing no speakers, we'll close the public hearing, and I will entertain a motion.
Move for approval, Mayor.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any discussion? There being none, Secretary Hicks, please poll the council.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderoud,
Yes.
Bearfield, Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-886. Director Price. Oh, not. Mr. Pacino.
Yes,
What are you doing? I thought,
Yes, sir.
I thought,
I won't say it was an insult, but Jeremy Pacina, Assistant Director.
I'm sorry, Galen.
Not to him.
That was an insult to Galen.
Anyways,
All right, Jeremy, Mr. Pacina, please,
Yes.
please help us out. Help me out on this.
good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. This is a public hearing in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Tax Code, Section 312.002, to consider a resolution reauthorizing the tax abatement policy by adopting the City of Waco Business Tax Abatement Guidelines and Policy Statement for a period of 2 years, effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027. Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code requires that a municipality must adopt guidelines for tax abatement before it can grant tax abatement agreements. Thereafter, a municipality may only enter into tax abatement agreements that meet the adopted guidelines. The guidelines are effective for 2 years from the date that they are adopted. Effective September 1st, 2019, the Chapter 312 also requires a public hearing be held at which members of the public are given the opportunity to be heard regarding adoption, amendment, repeal, or reauthorization of the tax abatement guidelines and criteria. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Waco Tribune Herald on November 20th, 2025.
Thank you, Jeremy. Are there any questions for staff? We basically just, as I read through it, we basically just renewed what was already there. We didn't make any modifications or
Yes.
changes to the existing policy.
Yes, sir, that's correct. No amendments.
Thank you. I will now open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who would like to speak on this item? Seeing no speakers, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Secretary Hicks, will you please poll the council?
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderoud,
Yes.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item considers public hearing 2025-887. Director Peters.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution granting a special permit to Trenton Sutton with Texas Alliance Properties LLC for a drive-through lane for a restaurant in O3 zoning on approximately 0.65 acres. Address is 12400 China Spring Road. By a vote of 6-3, the Plan Commission recommended disapproval of the request based on the following findings. One, the proposed use is not compatible with the appropriate and orderly development of the area in which it's located. The requested special permit would erode the protections established by the O3 zoning district and diminish the buffer provided to adjacent single-family residential properties. Two, that the proposed use would be more objectionable to neighboring properties because of traffic congestion, noise, fumes, vibrations, or any other characteristics than any use permitted in the zoning district without the grant of the special exception. The proposed location of the drive-through adjacent to single-family residential lot exacerbates these concerns. Alternative design options such as a designated pickup or to-go space at the front of the building are available and would comply with the O3 zoning district requirements, which minimize impacts on nearby residents. And then three, there's an adequate supply of underutilized and vacant land, approximately 28 acres already zoned for commercial use along the China Spring Drive corridor at the intersection of North River Crossing and China Spring Drive. This existing inventory can accommodate appropriate commercial growth and development in the area without encroaching on established residential neighborhoods. We did mail out 13 notices on this and had one returned in favor and one opposed. We have provided council with some alternate findings and conditions for approval if the council so chooses to approve. I would point out for the special provisions and conditions, if approved, that we would like the council to consider, those being that site lighting must be directed towards the establishment and non-adjacent properties. Privacy fence shall be installed and maintained along property line with adjacent single-family lot. That the drive-through lane shall only be for used for pickup orders, or ordering shall not take place in the drive-through lane. Permits related to the menu board will not be issued for a drive-through lane. And then finally, the permit will remain valid for a period of 12 months after issuance of a certificate of occupancy for the development.
Thank you, Clint. Are there any questions for staff on this one?
So the alternate proposal is not what went before the planning commission? That's
That's correct. The Plan Commission recommended disapproval. We just provided those to you if council so chooses to approve it.
And did the alternative proposals, or proposal, does that have more buy-in from the adjacent neighbors to it? I know that they were against the initial.
We did not get specific input on those from the adjacent neighbor that was opposed to it, but it does address a lot of the concerns that they had.
And I don't want to get this one mixed up with the next one. We shouldn't cross-pollinate these two, but this one was disapproved, basically the drive-through, the traffic congestion, right next to residential, and that's what the complaints from the neighbors were. The next one, I saw we did approve with the conditions you talked about.
Correct.
But those conditions weren't presented in the public hearing that we're on right now, at least in the package, I didn't see them.
Correct. What I just read into record with the special provisions and conditions are in your packet, but they were not presented to the Plan Commission as an alternate finding.
But those conditions are on the next public hearing.
That's correct. Plan
That was-
Commission
that
did
was
recommend it.
approved.
Yep.
And Clint, is this comes with a disapproval from plan? Does it come with a disapproval from staff as well?
That's correct. Yep.
Any other questions for staff on this one? If not, I'll open a public hearing for comments. We do have a couple cards on this one. The proponents, I'll call up first Jane Kittner. Jane, or Miss Kittner. As you approach the podium, you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address for the record.
Mayor and Council, Jane Kittner from Kittner and Pate Design Associates. My office is at 4915 Lakewood Drive, 76710. And I'm representing Mr. Sutton, who wants to build a small building with 2,500 square foot Marco's Pizza and a small office next to it in the remainder of the building. We aren't asking for a drive-through lane, we're asking for a pickup lane. Most of the sales at Marco's are for delivery, and we're hoping we'll be able to get some delivery to Spiegelville area as well as more of China Spring. Their newest stores have all had a pickup lane. What a pickup lane is you order online or by phone, you drive up to the window or door on the side of the building, and they hand you your pizza. If you drive up too early, they make you park, and they'll bring your pizza out to you. It's been very popular, and it's a good way to keep the activity at the site of a minimum because it's right next to Sylvia, so you could drive in, come in, and go out without having to go into the parking lot. Using a pickup lane is less disruptive than entering the site and parking. The site plan we have is arranged to act as a buffer between China Spring Road and the adjoining residential lot by placing the parking along the highway with the building facing the parking. Then we're keeping the existing tree line along that property line and setting in a privacy fence already in front of the tree line. This will increase the effectiveness of the buffer. And our lot coverage is really low. We're at 64% where we're allowed 85. So we're trying to get a good amount of tree cover and buffer for the one resident in the back that doesn't like us. If you look at the handout, you can see the colored one. You can see what we're dealing with is in this neighborhood, yes. We have, our main entry drive is on Sylvia. Right across Sylvia from us is now being built a convenience store that has a shared drive with the O3 lot in back of it. So there's quite a bit of activity right across from us, probably 24 hours a day, with 6 gas pumps and an 8,000 square foot building. They also share one other entry from Highway 85, but there are no entries from the convenience store onto China Spring Road. So that will be, Sylvia will be one of the main entrances to that. Then there's 4 houses.
3 minutes, can you wrap up your comments?
Okay. If you look at the drawing, there's 4 houses. The one in back of us, the house itself is over 150 feet from our back property line. And its whole lot is about 280 feet wide.
Okay.
So that's
Thank
the
you,
only
Ms.
one that
Kittner.
got,
That's your 3 minutes. Thank you.
it's the only one that got noticed.
Thank you, Ms. Kittner. Our next speaker is Robert Mock. Mr. Mock, you'll have 3 minutes to address council. Please state your name and address when you get to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Mock. My office address is 100B Midway Center, Woodway, Texas. I am the franchisee for Marco's Pizza and hopefully answer any of your questions about our location. Like Jane said, we have that particular setup in 3 of our locations now. And we're very adamant with the city on we're not putting up pickup. It's not a drive-through. There won't be a display or anything like that. It's just a pickup window. You pull in, pick up, and if you're not ready, we'll have them pull up front and bring the product out to them. The object for this is just to keep it flowing. As far as what the lot behind us, I wish you guys had pictures of what's there. It's a long row of Leland cypress that are probably 20 feet tall that you cannot see through. Plus, we're gonna put a fence there. And like the city, like they suggested, I love the idea of all the lights facing forward. I don't want them on the building facing out. I like them facing towards the building. So I think we minimize our impact to the 4 homes that are on Sylvia. And it happens to be the main thoroughfare that China Spring ISD uses to get to the middle school, which if you can see down there is the middle school, to the point that DOT even put them a turn lane just past the 4-way stop. They put them a turn lane to turn down Sylvia. So they're planning on this road being highly traveled. It's highly traveled in the mornings and it's highly traveled on the pickups. That is not our busy time of the day. And like I said, we have this location in Robinson, we have it in Belmead, and we have it in Hewitt. And the longest I've ever seen our line get is 4 cars, and our plans, if I'm held 6 cars. So we're close, we're not anywhere near maximizing the drawings. But you know, that's I think alleviates a lot of their concerns with the disapproval on that. Any questions that I can answer for you about our location?
Do we have any questions for Mr. Mock? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mock.
Thank you.
I
We appreciate your time.
both
Thank
of
you
y'all.
very much.
Is there anyone else present who'd like to speak regarding this item? Seeing no speakers, I'll close the public hearing and I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I have a point of clarification before moving forward. Are we able to move to approve with staff recommendations? Do we have a clear list of what those are in writing that we can move forward with the motion for
With
that?
those conditions?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, with the conditions?
Yeah, you can certainly
Yes,
make
sir,
that
you may
motion.
do that.
Yeah.
You want to repeat those conditions? They're actually the same conditions you have on the next one, right?
Yeah, they're in the packet
Yeah.
for those.
They're not, the numbers, the pages aren't numbered, but. It was the lighting in, facing inward and.
Facing lighting. I remember.
Yeah, so
Privacy fence.
it's our standard provisions and conditions for special permits, and then there's four additional conditions specific to this development. And one is the site lighting must be directed towards the establishment, not the adjacent properties. Privacy fence shall be installed and maintained along the property line with the adjacent single-family lot. That the drive-through lane shall only be used for pickup orders. Ordering shall not take place in the drive-through lane. Permits related to a menu board will not be issued for the drive-through lane. And then that the permit will remain valid for a period of 12 months after issuance of the special permit, of the CO.
And two follow-ups on that, Clint. Thank you, Mayor. Was there a discussion about building a privacy fence? That's in there as well?
Yes.
And then, could you clarify that is a tree line that I'm seeing there on the back of the property, correct?
That's correct.
I believe that was
Yeah.
mentioned. And then to Ms. Kittner's point, is the home that is sort of on the periphery there of the, I guess, proximate distance, is that the only home that was notified?
So if you look at that yellow dash line,
Yeah.
that picked up the property. So yes, that property is fairly large. That the property is approximately 250 feet wide, so it only picked up that one residence
Yeah.
there that's adjacent to it.
All right. I got what I need. Thanks, Mayor.
And then just to follow Councilmember Ewing's logic, it's is it 12-month permit or a 2-year?
So if approved, we're recommending for a 12-month once the CO is issued.
Sorry, Mayor, you gave me your sheet, so you couldn't remember it. I got it down here.
Yeah, so either 12 months from the CO or 2 years from the issue of the permits, whatever happens first, so.
Which is the same standard as the other one.
Yep, yes, sir.
Okay, I think did we have a motion on this?
We didn't. It was a point of clarification.
Yes, I was.
Oh, you were asking.
Well, Mayor, I move for approval with staff recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Good dialogue on this one, guys.
One more point of discussion, sorry. Do we need the supermajority here because it came disapproved from?
Attorney Hamilton?
No, we do not need a supermajority. The state law changed on that issue this past legislative session.
Wonderful. Thank you for keeping up with that.
Any more discussion? Secretary Hicks, could you please poll the council?
Lozano?
Yes.
Borderood?
Yes.
Fairfield?
Yes.
Ewing?
Yes.
Chase?
Yes.
Holmes?
Aye, that motion passes. Next item to consider is public hearing 2025-888. Director Peters?
Yes, sir, and this is the other special permit for the same property. So Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution granting a special permit to Trenton Sutton Texas Alliance Properties LLC to allow extended retail hours between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. in O3 District on approximately 0.65 acres. Address is 12400 China Spring Road. Plan Commission, by a vote of 9-0, recommended approval of the request based on special provisions and conditions and the following findings. That the proposed use is consistent with the comprehensive plan and purposes and intent of Chapter 28 zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco. That the proposed use is compatible with the appropriate and orderly development of the area which is located. That the proposed use would not be more objectionable to neighboring properties because of traffic congestion, noise, fumes, vibrations, or any other characteristics of any use permitted in the zoning district without the grant of the special exception. And that available community facilities and services, including the road system providing access to proposed use, are adequate for the proposed use. We do have the same conditions with the following one for this special permit, that the permit shall allow retail sales between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. And the extended hours beyond 7 p.m. shall be limited to the operation of a pizza restaurant.
Thank you, Director Peters. Are there any questions for staff on this one?
Quick question, I apologize. 'Cause I read this, can't remember. What are the normal hours without the exception?
7 to 7.
Got it, thank you.
Yeah.
And this is basically the same place as the last one, but this one is for extending the hours
Extending
from
hours.
7 to
Yeah.
11.
Yes, sir.
And with those same conditions of a 1-year permit, 2 years,
Yes, sir.
lighting and fence and all that.
Yep.
Any other questions for staff? I'll now open a public hearing for comments. We do have the same two on the cards. Jane or Ms. Kittner, if you'd like to come to the podium, I'm gonna have to stop you at 3 minutes, I'm sorry. But please state your name and address for the record.
Jane Kittner, 4915 Lakewood Drive, 76710. Jane's fine. Just one other thing is that, because the lot next to us was so big and nobody else got notices, we did have 2 emails from 2 of the 4 houses supporting both special use permits that I uploaded to the portal. So they're somewhere there. And any questions? We don't expect very much activity after about 8, but they have to stay open.
All right,
Franchise thing.
great. Thank you, Ms. Kittner. Appreciate it. And Mr. Mock, if you'd like to come up, it's fine. Mr. Mock is not taking the opportunity here. Okay, are there anyone else who'd like to speak on this item? I see no one, so I will close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Mayor, I move for approval with staff recommendation on this as well.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Good dialogue on getting this resolved. City Secretary, please poll the council.
Lozano?
Yes.
Waterroot?
Yes.
Fairfield?
Yes.
Ewing?
Yes.
Chase?
Yes.
Holmes?
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-889. Director Peters.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance concerning a land use change and zoning on property located at 7324 Steinbeck Road to change the land use designation from office industrial flex to medium density residential office flex and the rezone from M2 light industrial to R3B multiple family residence district on approximately 9.04 acres, which is tract 1. And the rezone from M2 Light Industrial District to C2 Community Commercial District on approximately 1.36 acres, which is tract 2. By a vote of 9-0, Plan Commission recommend approval of the changes based on the following findings for the land use change, adequacy of public infrastructure, and the existing public infrastructure is sufficient to support the zoning districts permitted under the proposed medium-density residential flex land use designation, and consistent with nearby land use designations, medium-density residential office flex is the present and surrounding area, indicating compatibility with existing land use. The Plan Commission also recommended approval of the zoning from M2 to R3B based on the following findings. Proposed zoning aligns with the land use component of the comprehensive plan as revised. The property meets all the area and width requirements for R3B zoning. Public infrastructure is adequate to accommodate the uses permitted in R3B zoning district, subject to improvements at the time of development. And the proposed rezoning supports the goals of the Waco Strategic Housing Plan by increasing the supply of residentially zoned properties, thus enhancing opportunities for new housing development. And that R3B zoning is a dominant residential zoning in the surrounding area. The recommendation for approval from M2 to C2 are based on the following findings. Proposed zoning aligns with the land use component of the comprehensive plan. The proposed property meets all the area and width requirements for C2 zoning. The existing public infrastructure is adequate to accommodate the uses permitted in C2 zoning district, subject to the improvements at the time of development. And C2 zoning promotes a mix of compatible commercial and residential uses and supports the existing commercial development along the corridor.
Thank you, Clint. Are there any questions for staff and Director Peters? Okay, I'll now open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who would like to speak on this item? Seeing no one, I'm going to close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Secretary Hicks, please poll the council.
Lozano?
Yes.
Waterroot?
Yes.
Fairfield?
Yes.
Ewing?
Yes.
Chase?
Yes.
Holmes?
Aye, that motion passes. The next item considered is public hearing 2025-890. Director Peters.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance changing the land use designation from open space and office industrial flex to industrial and the rezone from C3 general commercial to M2 light industrial on approximately 2.92 acres addressed as 2324 Robinson Drive and providing for penalties. By a vote of 9-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of land use designation change based on the following findings. The public infrastructure is adequate to provide for zoning districts allowed in the proposed industrial land use designation, and the industrial land use is more compatible with the adjacent existing land uses and legacy industrial zoning. Plan Commission also recommended approval of the zoning based on the following findings. Proposed zoning aligns with the land use component of the comprehensive plan as revised. The existing public infrastructure is adequate to accommodate uses permitted in M2 zoning, including access provided by a major intersection. The property meets all minimum area and width requirements for M2 zoning. The proposed M2 zoning is compatible with the surrounding light industrial and commercial uses along a major thoroughfare, which is Business 77.
Thank you, Clint. Are there any questions for Director Peters on this one? No questions. I'm going to open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who'd like to speak on this item? Anybody out there that wants to talk about this one? No. Seeing no speakers, we'll close the public hearing, and I will entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on this, guys? Secretary Hicks, would you please poll the council?
Lozano,
Yes.
Porterud,
Yes.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item considered is public hearing 2025-891. Director Peters, you're going to cover this one too?
Yes, sir. Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance amending Section 28.1 definitions and Article 1 in general of Chapter 28 zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco, Texas, to amend the definitions of amusement redemption machines or eight-liners and indoor amusement facilities and providing for penalties. Plan Commission did recommend approval of the the ordinance change as submitted, and this is a cleanup ordinance to the zoning definitions that follows the council's adopted ordinance of Chapter 13 dealing with indoor amusement facilities.
Okay, thank you, Clint. Any questions for Director Peters on this? Just some cleanup of the eight-liner language in the ordinance, city ordinances. I will now open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who'd like to speak on this item? Seeing no speakers, we'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? City Secretary Hicks, will you please poll the council?
Lozano,
Yes.
Porterud,
Yes.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item on the agenda is individual consideration. The first item to consider is ordinance 2025-892. City Attorney Kristen Hamilton Karam, will you help us with the ordinances here tonight?
Yes, sir. An ordinance repealing resolution number 2010-685 and amending Article 2, Boards and Commissions and Committees of Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco to add Division 7, Public Arts Commission, providing for membership and authority of the board, providing a severability clause. This ordinance was passed by a 5-0 vote on November 18th. However, Mayor, we do have a requested revision that I would like to read into the record to amend Art and Culture Commission in all locations in the ordinance to read Public Arts Commission, and also to add subsection E under 2-66B, 2-66, actually, subsection E, lowercase e, ex officio board member, the executive director or like position of the city's contracted arts agency or his or her designee may serve as an ex officio non-voting board member. This member may attend meetings of the board but is not required to attend and is not considered in determining the presence of a quorum. This member is eligible to serve on committees as described in 2-67A.
I believe everybody has that language in front of them. Okay. Anything else for clarification on that one, City Attorney? No, it's all, yeah. Anything else you need to say about that one?
No, sir.
Okay. I will now entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move for approval based on the submission by our city attorney read into the record here.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? City Secretary Hicks, will you please poll the council?
Lozano,
Yes.
Porterud,
Yes.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase, Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is ordinance 2025-893. City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
Consider an ordinance amending Chapter 5 Animals of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco, Texas by 1, amending Article 5 Animal Protection Provisions to create a Traveling Animal Acts section and add definitions and general provisions. This amendment to Chapter 5 Animals of the Code of Ordinances ensures safety, health, and general welfare of traveling animals. This is the second reading. This ordinance was approved by a 5-0 council vote on first reading on November 18th, 2025.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move for approval on second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the second reading. Any discussion? City Secretary Hicks, would you mind polling the council?
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Deerfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye. Aye, excuse me. Aye, that motion does pass. The next item to consider is ordinance 2025-894, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
Consider an ordinance changing the land use designation from open space to suburban residential to mixed use flex and rezoning from R1B Single Family Residence to C2 Community Commercial District on approximately 16.24 acres out of the 51.92 acres addressed as 3301 North Highway 6 and providing for penalties. Case number Z-25-50, Nate Embry on behalf of Larry Cathy, second reading. This ordinance was approved by 5-0 council vote on first reading on November 18th, 2025.
Thank you, City Attorney. I'll entertain a motion on this second reading.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the second reading. Any further discussion? City Secretary Hicks, please poll the council.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item considers ordinance 2025-895, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
Consider an ordinance zoning property to planned unit development and approving concept plan for the Westlake Village PUD comprising approximately 560 acres located south of the intersection of Tom Ledbetter Road and Highway 6 and providing for penalties. This ordinance was passed by a 5-0 council vote on November 18th, 2025.
Thank you, City Attorney Hamilton Karam. On this one, we do have a card. So before I ask for a motion, I'm going to ask the applicant if he wants to say a word. Brad Shelton.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I'm Brad Shelton, Shelton Development, 2925 Country Club Road, Denton, Texas, 76210. I'm just here to answer any questions y'all may have from, staff has been very helpful as well as y'all moving this thing, our project forward. So I'm just here to ask any questions y'all may have had this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton.
Thank you.
I think we're good. Appreciate it. I will now entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Secretary Hicks, please poll the council.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is ordinance 2025-896. City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
Consider an ordinance providing for the extension of the city limits via the voluntary annexation of approximately 567.560 acre tract of land owned by Woodway 567 LLC, commonly referred to as the West Lake Development, located south of the intersection of Tom Ledbetter Road and Highway 6 within Waco's extraterritorial jurisdiction, adjacent to and adjoining the current city limits of the city of Waco. Said area specifically and more fully described in the ordinance. And 2, providing for the designation of suburban residential as the comprehensive plan land use designation and the designation of planned unit development PUD zoning for said territory, assigning the annexed property to City Council District 5 and providing for penalties. This ordinance was approved by a 5-0 council vote on first reading on November 18th, 2025.
Is there a motion on the second reading?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the second reading. Any discussion? City Secretary Hicks, please poll the council.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item considers ordinance 2025-897, 897. City Attorney Hamilton Crown.
Consider an ordinance, one, providing for the extension of the city limits via the voluntary annexation of a total of approximately 212.37 acres of land consisting of A, approximately 98.56 acres owned by Spiegelville Land Holdings LLC, and B, approximately 104.27 acres owned by Edgewood Land Investments LLC, and approximately 9.54 acres being a part of Spiegelville Road and Barrett Road, and all generally located approximately 1,356 feet north of the intersection of Maple Shade Drive and Spiegelville Road within Waco's extraterritorial jurisdiction, adjacent to and adjoining the current city limits of the city of Waco, said areas specifically and more fully described in the ordinance, and two, providing for the designation of suburban residential as the comprehensive land use designation and the designation of R1B single-family residence zoning for said territory, assigning the annexed property to City Council District 5 and three, providing for penalties. This ordinance was approved by a 5-0 council vote on first reading on November 18th, 2025.
Do I hear a motion on the second reading?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? City Secretary Hicks, please poll the council.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderoud,
Yes.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is the hearing of visitors. During the hearing of visitors section of the agenda, we provide an opportunity for the public to present concerns or address issues that are not matters for consideration listed on our published agenda. The council is unable to conduct a discussion, but will listen, ask staff to look into concerns, and provide follow-up. Please provide registration information so that staff can contact you if necessary. If you have handouts, please let us know at the beginning of your presentation, and staff will distribute those to the council. If you're unable to approach the podium due to physical limitations, a microphone is available to be brought to you. We do have a few cards tonight, so I'll read this additional caveat. When called to the podium, please state your name and address for the record. Each speaker must limit comments to 3 minutes. If you are speaking on behalf of a group of 10 or more individuals present, please have those persons stand at the beginning of your comments, and you'll be given 10 minutes to address the council. Please note that if you stand in support of a person getting that 10 minutes to speak, you are forfeiting your right to speak on that item. For any person addressing the council through the use of a translator, the speaking time will be doubled to accommodate the translation services. While public discourse is very important to this council, we have to maintain order in the meetings so that all persons may be heard and city business may be conducted. If so directed by me, the Sergeant at Arms shall remove from the council meeting any person who, while addressing the city council or while attending the city council meeting, makes personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks, becomes boisterous, or makes unauthorized remarks from the audience, claps their hands, stomps their feet, whistles, yells, or makes similar demonstrations. So we've got a few cards here tonight. Let's get this going. I will start with the top of the stack here, Mark Dawson. And just so we are organized, Mary Beechner, you're on deck. So, Mr. Dawson, as you get to the podium, please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to address council. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I have a little unorthodox request here. I did not know about the order. It would really serve the best interest in terms of information if Mary Beechner were to speak first. Would that be possible?
You already started.
Followed her? All right, very well. Well, I'm here tonight with an unusual request. First of all, let me just start by saying how encouraging I found it to be when I heard you consider with such detail the drive-through pickup there in China Spring. There were, I believe, 4 families involved there. I'm going to talk to you just very briefly tonight about a place where there are still not a lot of families, but really on the bigger scale of things, but there are probably a couple of thousand easily, and it's just to the north of Waco. There's a proposed plant that's going in out there. I'm sure you've probably all heard of it. It is a data storage facility. No doubt you have all heard of it. Is that correct? Will you raise your hands if you've heard of it?
No, I don't.
You have not heard of it?
It's not in the Waco city
Well,
limits.
I find that remarkable because you're in the same camp we are. I'm here to speak on behalf of some of those families out there that are amazed that property has been purchased to the tune of 500 acres, and there's a rather detailed plan to put this plant into place. And there's also heavy equipment on those grounds right now. Now, this is probably going to come before this council somewhere along the line in the future. And all I wanted to do tonight was make a request. And that is that when this does come across your desk for consideration in any capacity, that you would understand the decision that you make regarding that plant isn't going to be limited to progress or the plant itself or revenues that you might derive from that plant. It's also going to be about whether or not you choose to preserve a way of life that has been going there for probably a couple of 100 years. Or if you choose to allow the destruction of that way of life permanently. I hope you will remember that when you consider those things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. Next up is Mary Beechner. I will say in between this that I think some of us are generally aware that there's talk of data centers coming in. There's 4 or 5 or whatever. None of these so far have been entertained by council, and none of them are in the city limits that we're starting to try to qualify. These are all ATJ oriented, and I think the ones that you're talking about is in the north part of the county, I believe. Yeah, we can't. I can't respond. I can't respond any further than that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even have said that much. All right, Ms. Beechner, please.
Hi, my name is Mary Beechner, 2013 Fort Graham Road, 76705. I'm here today to speak on behalf of myself and for my fellow Texan residents living in Lacey Lakeview, Elmont, and Ross, and the greater McLennan County area. I'm here to represent the petition I started, which within 2 weeks of being posted has collected over 1,500 signatures from local Texans. My name is Mary Beechner, and I speak on behalf of thousands of local residents when I say this. We do not consent to the InfraKey data center consuming over 500 acres of residential land to build their water-guzzling, air and sound polluting, nature-destroying, and community-offending AI data collection center. So what's happening? InfraKey DC Parks Company plans on exploiting over 500 acres of gorgeous Texas countryside to build a brutalist-style AI data center compound, nestled snugly next to thousands of Texas families who chose the countryside for the peace and safe haven it provides. I'm sure the families and children who live here will be greatly distressed by the constant hum of generators and released chemical pollutants from the natural gas plant, such as nitrogen oxide and formaldehyde. There is no proof of this project being discussed in any city council meeting agendas, no public discussion. The fact that we, the people, have not been alerted of this plan is disgusting, horrible, and shows that those in charge of making these decisions are sneaky and know that this project does not benefit this community. It's a decision made in haste without consideration to the environmental impact or effect it will have on the people neighboring this AI data center. Each of us should feel responsible for protecting our natural resources for a use which benefits the people, not for a use that exploits improper zoning laws and disrupts our peace, our families, our ability to water our own gardens. It would disrupt our entire community. There have not been any environmental policies put into place by InfraKey, no comprehensive environmental management plan. Not a word has been spoken by the company regarding the greater effect on nature and the people who will live next to this facility. That is unacceptable, especially when you take into account that this is the largest industrial development and investment ever for Lacey Lakeview. Lacey Lakeview and Waco representatives as a whole are neglecting thousands of Texans if they allow Infrakey to build on this residential plot. I beg you to listen to the voices who live here, who have supported the thriving community of Waco, Texas for generations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Beecher. Appreciate that. Next up is Lauren Hill. Ms. Hill, there you are. We also, I think, Lauren, you've got a little handout too, right? We've got it.
Alrighty, Lauren Hill, 9317 Bryce Drive. So this is a framework for my doubts about Infrakey's proposed data center in the Elmont, Chalk Bluff, Lacey Lakeview area. So the reason I'm sharing these insights and examples with you guys is because at some point, the discussion of annexation of that area is going to come across your desk from the city of Lacey Lakeview. All right, so I'm gonna get right on into it. So in Douglas County, Georgia, Google constructed a data center. When news outlets requested a copy of the agreement Google made with the city, all facts and figures about the data center's water consumption were redacted. In the same county, Microsoft opened a data center as well, and all info about that water usage was once again blacked out. The state of Georgia does require water usage proposals, so we do know that the estimates that these data centers have shared range from 1 to 6.5 million gallons of municipally treated water used per day. To put that into perspective, the Waco water tower that was replaced in 2018 was only updated to have 2 million gallon capacity. Amazon created its largest data center in Indiana, and when it was found to have been depleting local drinking water resources, there was no accountability from the company. Also in Indiana, legislators authored and passed a bill that allowed utility companies to pass the costs of AI data centers on to consumers. So Infrakey will tout phrases like data center, and you'll see in the news headlines that say that their natural gas power plant would be able to power 300,000 homes. Big tech in the fossil fuel industry clearly can afford some very, very clever marketing. But I want you to please keep in mind whenever they say that their generator could power 300,000 homes, that the entire Waco metropolitan area contains about 307,000 residents and somewhere between 46 and 64,000 residential homes. The reason that their power plant needs to generate at that large of a scale, at that capacity, is because that is the amount of electricity that they are planning to use. They are not supplying energy to the town. The data center will consume 3 times as much power as the entire metropolitan area, and they have built their facilities in a modular style so they can continue to expand to meet their end users' needs. Please do not fall for these clever marketing tactics. The power plant on site will very likely use its natural gas plant to power large turbines or engines that are connected to generators. Those generators power their operations, and if you've ever had a sustained power outage, you know that even the smallest generator from Home Depot is able to be heard right down the street. I understand that our state government is very supportive of policy that attracts businesses and strengthens our fossil fuel industry, and that in light of federal and state funding reduction, it seems appealing to welcome in a company that promises millions of dollars in annual tax revenue. But please consider, does this deal sound like it's too good to be true? Do their tactics not seem like they're predatory? I'll leave you with these final points. Their incredible $10 billion valuation seems fleeting, as if it could be valued at a small fraction of that within the next few years as technology infrastructure develops. Data centers typically bring only around 24 permanent maintenance jobs for their facilities. These data centers are not built as one-offs, they're built in clusters. Infrakey has plans to include up to 6 data centers in the Waco area. And when referencing facts about the average data center, please realize that AI data centers demand far more than the average data center. Do not rely on the average statistics. And lastly, an AI data center is just a power plant with better marketing. Thank you guys so much for hearing me out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. Good timing on that. I appreciate you being here. Oh, the last, oh, no, wait, we got 2 more cards. The next card is from Bradley Morris. Mr. Morris, are you, did we miss, is Bradley out there? Mr. Morris is not here. I will now go to the last card, Shauna Feniger. Shauna Feniger, here you go. Ms. Feniger, as you approach the podium, please state your name and address for the record when you get here, and you'll have 3 minutes to address council.
Hello, I'm Shauna Feniger, 100 Fort Graham Circle, Waco, Texas, 76705. My name is Shauna Feniger. I'm speaking tonight about the future of my family and the future of families in McLennan County affected by the $10 billion data center. Let me be clear. No one in our community wants this. Not one family who lives near these proposed site is asking for a multi-billion-dollar industry or data center in their backyard. The data center cooling towers alone and the HVAC systems generate constant industrial noise, proven to cause sleep disruption, stress, headaches, and cardiovascular strain. These facilities also use millions of gallons of water per day, putting enormous strain on the municipal system and raising long-term effects or costs for their residents. And we've heard promises about jobs, but in the real reality of it, there's only about 50 to 100 permanent jobs once this facility opens. So we are being asked to sacrifice our peace, our resources, and our health for fewer permanent jobs than a grocery store. And on May 21st, 2024, Waco implemented a year-round water conservation plan, and the city is already limiting water usage because our supply cannot keep up with the demand. If Waco is already in a conservation mode, how can the city guarantee the millions of gallons of water a hyperscale data center will require every single day? And how can Waco restrict its residents, then possibly supply water for this facility? Lacey Lakeview buys its water from Waco. That means Waco has regulatory authority, utility control, and a direct stake in what happens on Taylor Lane. Your decisions on annexation, utilities, water capacity, and infrastructure determine whether this project can move forward at all. And let me be clear, do not be swayed by the dollar amounts that are being dangled in front of you. What the people of McLennan County want is this. We want to stop this project altogether. We want to preserve our community. And I am asking you, council members, to please stand with your constituents and put this matter on the next agenda. Say no to supporting this development. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Feniger. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. Thanks to everybody in the hearing and visitors for coming tonight. Is there anyone else present who'd like to speak during the hearing and visitors section tonight? Again, well, thank you all for being here. With that, we will now close the hearing of visitors and go to council comments. Any announcements the council would like to make tonight?
Mayor, I want to give a quick shout out to the Schlechties of Castle Heights for putting on the second annual Castle Heights Turkey Trot on Thanksgiving morning. It was blessed to be out there shivering in the cold and running with all ages, without any traffic barriers, just taking our lives into our own hands there on Thanksgiving morning. But it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate the community spirit there.
Any other comments? All right. Yeah.
Well, no, hey, I do.
There is.
You've been really quick on that trigger today, all right? This microphone, I got to grab it.
I looked at George and he didn't have anything. So
Well, George,
there he is.
well, before I go, George, do you? Not tonight. Okay. I'd be
Councilmember
remiss
Yu.
to not highlight, because we're not going to meet again before then, obviously, that we are lighting a Christmas tree on Friday. We talked about it earlier, but for those who are not here for the work session, Waco Wonderland kicks off this Friday. We have the Christmas tree lighting. Is at 7 p.m., staff. John, you're in the back there? Director Cook, I apologize. 7 p.m., we'll be lighting a Christmas tree. We'll have multiple bands there. There'll be a Ferris wheel, a snow slope. We're doing a fireworks show?
Fireworks.
Going to be a big fireworks show, people. So bring your family. And Bridge Street Plaza as well will be activated. If you are looking for something to do this Friday, we're also bringing back First Fridays this Friday.
Yeah.
Looking for something to do this Friday in and around downtown Waco, and Saturday morning with the parade. That's right, the Waco Wonderland Parade. We got you covered all weekend with holiday festivities here in the city of Waco.
Darius loves Christmas.
We hope that you take advantage of them. Santa will be there. Santa will be there. Gosh, he's taking time out of his very busy December schedule to make it down to Waco, Texas, so that my daughter can absolutely recoil in fear when I get her too close to him. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. If you did not have plans to be there, I hope I sold you.
You
That's
did
all
the
I
best
got.
you could on that. I think it was very good. I'm going. You convinced me.
I would hope so.
You could convince me to be
I
there.
think you're slated to give remarks.
Yeah, that's right. I do.
Remarks. In the next few days, we will be christening our brand-new Welcome Center. We, special shout out to ACM Black Men and all the work that our DMO has done to get the Welcome Center ready for all of the many visitors that come into our community. We've got it smack dab in the middle of downtown, so it is incredibly accessible and is full of Waco gems and jewels, and and amazing people who are ready to share that information and get our visitors on their right path. So super excited to cut that ribbon on Thursday at 4 o'clock. So, I mean, this week is Waco Forward with all the things that are going on in and around downtown and in the community.
It's going to be fun this weekend in downtown, and all the way through Christmas season. It's going to be great. I also want to thank, I didn't say anything this afternoon, but the Christmas decorations are up even here at Bosque Theater and that tree back here. So yeah, thank you. Was it the Secretary's office? Mickey, did you do that? All right, thank you.
She's like,
Thank
really?
you, City
Gotta get
Council.
gotta get a taller ceiling over here.
CSO team.
It is rubbing up against the top. Okay, are there any requests for scheduling future agenda items? Okay, that's the last bit. We're now going to recess this regular session, and we're going to go back to work in executive session as read into the record by the city secretary at 7:27 PM.
Notice is hereby given that the city council will go into executive session in accordance with the following provisions. Attorney briefing, Texas Open Meetings, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, discussion of master development agreement and tax increment finance agreement approved on September 20th, 2022 via Resolution 2022-700 and 2022-701 respectively between the city and Floyd KC 1 LLC. We are now in executive session.
Reconvene the regular session at 8:16 PM, and there being no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 8:17 PM.